Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest producers of crude oil in the world, recently announced a discount on crude oil sold to Asian countries. From 1st of this month, that is September 1st, 2025, they reduced the price of crude oil sold to Asian countries by $1 per barrel. Many Asians are tempted to think this or consider this as a largesse of Saudi Arabia. They may think that this is a magnanimous act from Saudi Arabia to lesser developed Asian countries. But that's not the truth. Actually, Saudi Arabia used to fleece or exploit Asian countries. They used to charge a premium from Asian countries, that is, including India and China, on crude oil sold to them. They sold crude oil at a price lesser than this to European nations as well as the US. See the lopsided logic. If somebody buys something from you more, you charge them more. Just because you realize that this is an opportunity. Saudis actually did that. But nowadays their strategy is not working. This is because India and China are now buying crude from Russia at a discounted rate. So obviously Saudi Arabia got panicked because India and China are the biggest buyers in the world. So they were forced to reduce price of their oil, not because of their largesse or magnanimity, but because they wanted to regain market. They know that this is a buyer's market. Earlier it was a seller's market. So Saudi has come to terms with the changed realities, not because of the magnanimity of Arab sheikhs, but because of the hard reality. They reduced the price. Credit goes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping because they have announced, they have clarified, made it very clear that we don't want to get exploited. We are bigger, stronger nations, much stronger nation than Saudi Arabia. Perhaps this is one factor that might have been in the mind of Saudis when they signed a defense cooperation with Pakistan. But that is not going to change the situation. India cannot be browbeaten. So let's analyze the oil realities. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said, from the 1st of September, Saudi Arabia reduced the price of Arab light crude, which they sell to Asian countries, by $1 per barrel. This is said to be the best or the top quality crude sold by Saudi Arabia. You know, crude has different varieties. For example, Brent is the best quality or the benchmark crude sold in international markets. Today, I think its price is around $68 per barrel. Then there is West Texas Intermediate or WTI sold by the United States. Its price is around $65 a barrel. It means that Brent is valued more. So Arab Light is also valued more. It is said to contain less sulfur, so that makes it easier for refiners to refine this crude oil. So this is why they used to claim that their crude is sold at a higher price. But you need to remember that they sold the same crude oil, same quality oil, at a lesser price to Europe and the US. Now, just because they thought somebody is weak and they could be exploited, they did that. So for that they called it Asian premium. Asian premium has always been much higher than the price they collected from Westerners. Arabs have an inherent fear for white skin. Perhaps that was why they charged more from India and China. Look at the lopsided logic. Everywhere, if a seller charges lesser price from a bulk buyer, if you go to a market and buy 50 tons of vegetables and someone comes to buy 5 kilograms of vegetables, The second man will have to pay more because the bulk buyer actually helps the seller. He will have to, wait for thousands of customers to sell that much quantity. So obviously, naturally, he offers a discount for the bulk buyer. This is the logic. But Saudi logic was just the opposite. Somebody wants it more. So it means that he cannot, he is dependent on us. He cannot just ignore us. So Saudi increased the price just because you think that somebody is in need. You charge them more. Nowadays, realities have become different. Now, this is a buyer's market. You see, there are many people willing to sell crude oil. Now, buyers are few. India and China are the top buyers. China is the number one buyer, India is the second biggest buyer. So, naturally, the buyers also wield some influence in the market. Buyers decide the price. India used its sovereignty, autonomy. India declared their autonomy. Thanks for Narendra Modi government in India. Now, India scouts for crude oil in different markets in the world. Whoever offers them the discounted rate at the lowest price, India goes for that. This is in the interest of India. This suits us well. So this is the new government. Earlier it was not like that. India was afraid of antagonizing Saudi Arabia. They thought that the Arabs will throw out Indian workers. No, it doesn't work like that. Actually, Indian workers work in Saudi Arabia because they are cheap, they are talented. That's why the moment somebody offers cheaper labor, some more talented workforce, then Saudi will go for them. So this is the reality. I'm not against Saudi Arabia. So both are benefiting from association, but at the same time, don't think that just because of us that somebody else survives. This is a fantasy. This is a fallacy. Absolutely wrong. Now, oil market has changed. Earlier, OPEC used to, deliberately increase oil prices. They enjoyed pushing Asian countries into trouble. You see, this Middle East also part of Asia. They think that they are separate and they call themselves the Middle East, while it's a part of Asia. No, I'm not going into such aspects. But the new realities, I think, have hit Saudi hard. That's why they are, influencing the U.S. to implement sanctions against those countries that purchase oil from Russia. But Saudi needs to remember another factor. The US is also their competitor. It is because of the US fracking industry that is the oil prices remain low. Shale oil from the US means the US doesn't want oil from Middle East. Now the US is self-sufficient on oil front, crude oil front. They even sells oil. India buys oil from the US also. So the market has changed. New realities. This has made Saudi Arabia more sensible. That's why they discounted prices. They will be forced to sell actually crude to Asian countries at lower rates. They will have to come down more. I think this is going to happen. You have to shed your egos. You have to be flexible. You need to realize that the big buyers merit low prices. Let's see how things are going to develop. I will meet you again with updates. Till then, goodbye.